Then let it be. I don't know what it done told you. Don't let them fold you. Keep it the letter G. Humble yourself with the patience. You gotta pace to get where you wanna be. All the pain just show that you seasoned. Gotta believe it. Just give me the cheat code. And none of the struggles come with the glory. Tell them to keep those. All of the pain just come with the game. I treat them like free throws. All of the evil sticking around. I had to delete those. Yeah, I had to defeat those. Just give me the cheat code.
What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on, beautiful people? Hopefully y'all can see my screen. Let me turn on the chat. Make sure y'all are here with me. What's going on, Trade Hero traders? Everybody from around the world, what's popping? I appreciate y'all tuning in with me. I'm really excited to show you all this because it's a culmination of everything that we've done so far over this month, really studying the market, understanding inverses and relationships like that. Hold on, let me back up a minute. If you missed all of that stuff, it's right here on Cheat Code TV. Okay, so Cheat Code TV, you just click on the lives here and you'll be able to, this Trade Hero live recap is basically a continuation of what I'm about to do because Quay was onto something great here and then got cut off at the end. He had somewhere to be. So what I want to do is do a continuation of showing you all how to find trades in the market. Okay, so but in order for you to really be efficient when trading in the market, you all need to understand how the VIX works, how the dollar works, trade alerts. So you're not watching the market. People are like, you know, how do you have so much patience, or how do you watch everything in the market? I don't. I set alerts, right? So you got a strategy here for that: support and resistance, bullish and bearish, right? Because what I'm about to do, I'm about to go through this fast because everything you don't understand, you can learn it in these videos here. So let's get straight to it. Number one, I want to let you all know that what I'm about to cover is from a Trade Hero text alert. Okay, so this morning we sent out this alert letting us know that, hey, right now the market might be pulling back to this area right here. Make sure you watch out for this demand zone. Be bearish in the short term, but bullish in the midterm as we really come back to this demand zone. And if you look here, now I ain't trying to brag or nothing, but look at the picture we sent, right? We said be patient. Because a lot of times what happens is people try to think that they can time the market or time the bottom or catch the reversal. But a lot of times if you're not looking at the big picture, you can't see what's going on the bigger scheme, right? Maybe on the 1 minute you see an opportunity, or the 5 minute or the 10 minute you see an opportunity. But on the day, right, it's telling you that I don't care what you see on those smaller time frames, we're heading here. Right, this entry level on the cheat code algo was our resistance, so it worked as rejection. So I made sure that I came in and I said, okay, let me chart the resistance and the support and these supply and demand zones. Right, so if you don't know how to do that, like I said, go over to Cheat Code TV. How to trade support and resistance and when to be bullish and bearish are great videos to watch for that. Okay, so let's get into it. And I want to show you how I got to this, right? Because I told you we were here when I first sent out the text. And as you can see, we pull back to this area here. Now, if you're a day trader, if you still use these larger time frames to chart, well, I want to show you all why I charted where I charted, right? Because what I want to focus on most, because a lot of times your support and resistance lines, they can, let me make sure I don't have any questions. No video. Can you all see it? I want to make sure, drop a 1 in the chat if you can see it. Somebody said no video. I want to make sure that you all can see this before I go on and start talking and nobody can see what I'm doing. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see it, a 2 if you cannot. Okay, 1s. We got 1s. Perfect. Hey, peace to the gods. Okay. All right. Somebody said we can't see no video, but everybody else is saying a 1. Okay. All right. Well, all right, so I'm breaking down the Trade Hero trade that we sent out. Like I said, what I was looking for on this particular chart was charting the supports and resistance. Right now, number one, I want to go to larger time frames. Now, if you want to watch a little quick clip on using time frames to chart for traders and investors, click on this video. It really didn't get a lot of love, but I need you all to watch this. I break down what I'm about to do right here. Okay, so I'm using larger time frames, step 1. All right, so on the weekly, what I noticed here was the great Mayweather trend line from 2022, right? We had a lot of rejections on these wicks, okay? Because on larger time frames, I want to see large swings, right? Where are we having swings in price? Okay. And not only that, those swings, are they creating a trend line? Okay. And we can even see one kind of building up right here. You can probably do a diagonal one right here to support what we have broken over this Mayweather trend line. Now, once we broke over this and we hit this first take profit level, that's where I was like, okay, well, the most ideal place for it to fall was our entry level here. So if you don't know how to do all this, if you need cheat code algo, okay, it's one of the best indicators. You just go here, go to cheat code algo. I have it under my favorites, but you got the algo, the swing, and the squeeze. Okay, so turn on your cheat code algo. It's going to give you these levels if you don't understand it, but you can also use it for charting. Now, once I use this major trend line, I want to then go to my daily and find where are my areas of support and resistance, right? So where are my largest areas of rejection? Okay, so that's going to be in red, right? Because we're rejecting a lot at this red line, right? Which is about 4,200 on the S&P 500, but 420 on the SPY, right? And if you're looking for demand, we want to see where are these wicks really reversing, right? Like I said, when you're looking for support and resistance, you want to see major turning points on larger time frames, because that shows you that that entire day was committed to turning that day around, whether it be down or up. Right. So I want to know, where did that happen? Those major swings, right? Because sometimes you can break over these types of resistances here, but then you run into the major trend line that we have and you see this rejection. But I digress. Like I said, you can watch this more on these videos. Okay. So continuing on, once I noticed these were major areas of rejection, I noticed even recently that it rejected here. We had a red indicator, plus we had the sell signal come out of here. So I know that this area is supply. Okay, that is where it's weak in price. People are selling. It's supply up here. This is resistance, but it's not always about hitting the line on the head. So you want to find a zone, right? And why I created this box this wide is because if you look at the bottom of this box, it lines up with previous price action, right? So if I drop a line here, you can see here by looking to the left, we had a lot of price action, rejection here, and consolidation, right? And then complete fallout, right? So I want to know, where does it completely reverse? Because that is high probability. If I can see that on larger time frames, then I know how to prepare for the day, right? I don't have to go in and say, what am I doing today? So when you talk about being patient for today and you use a smaller time frame, when we take everything that we just charted, right? Because when you talk about this area, this is my major bottom on the demand, right? If we break below this, this is bearish, and this should be a stop loss for bulls, okay? If we break below this, we are only heading lower, okay? So pay attention to this level here. But like I said, I don't expect for it to hit the bottom, right? So what do we have? We have our major trend line here that I need to be watching out for. And then just to add a top to the support, we put this line here, okay, this yellow and this green line. Why? Because I noticed that in the midterm, there was a lot of wicks that stopped here, right? So these are whole days, right? So when you talk about if you can see confirmation, an entire day was committed to not going below this line, right? And even on this day, when it did, it hit this bottom one and came back the next day and reclaimed, right? And even here bounced up, but still, entire days we're making sure that price never fell below this line, okay? And so once we couldn't control this, like I said, once you break below this type of area, you enter these types of weakness, right? Where the weakness has to go back to the next area of support or resistance. So when you chart these areas of supply and demand, you have this chart that we had. So when we sent out the alert, this was prior to this even coming to fruition. But what I wanted people to know is, look, the market can go both ways today, right? It tried to pull up, but most importantly, it came back to that demand zone, literally hit it on the nail. I have not moved these charts. I haven't done anything to this, right? But when you look at smaller time frames, if you're a scalper or a day trader, what you want to do is be more patient on the days where these opportunities set up, right? Because every day is not a day to trade, right? Like if you look at this day, the day started here, right? And now if you're bearish, right, you said, man, we were getting really close to that resistance and we gapped down today. I think I think we could be really bearish, right? You take a bearish trade and immediately it goes right back up to this area. And you're sitting there thinking, damn, I should have just waited on it to go to resistance. Y'all, I have been there. Okay. I've been there several times where I take the trade here when I just needed to wait for it to get exhausted. Because sometimes what happens is you're dealing with the emotions of other traders, right? All those bulls or bears are fighting right here. And the bears were just like, man, I'm scared. And they let go and they left you all here hanging. And you were sitting there holding puts thinking, no, it's going to reverse. We getting weaker and weaker. The closer it gets to this, it's going to reverse. And then we made it back up here and completely gapped up. Okay. So the next day it completely opened up higher. And then here is your opportunity to be bearish because we are in our supply zone. We are literally hitting resistance that we've seen in the past. Because like I said, these lines are not here for, just for fun, right? Because I'm looking at why is this top line here? Well, look, if we use larger time frames, right? Because I don't want to scroll for days. Because that's what some of y'all are doing on the 1 minute and 5 minute chart out here, charting stuff that's just straight noise and trash. But I digress. I ain't gonna talk. Everybody got a strategy, do you or whatever. But I'm saying y'all would be y'all could make a lot more money if y'all actually waited on days. What's up, man? I think my Mexican internet is tripping. Let me take this moment to check and see if there's any questions. Okay, no questions, but yeah, y'all can't see none on my chart. Let me reload this really quick. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so why is this line here, right? Because I saw a lot of weakness and rejection here. Okay, so once we broke above this line, we went to our Mayweather rejection line and came back to this one. Couldn't hold this little zone we have here, bounced up and down in between it. Because a lot of y'all are sitting here doing this. Y'all sitting here bouncing up and down, right? And y'all, time decay is eating up your contracts because you're not being patient for the right opportunity. If you want to be bearish up here. And if you want to be more bearish, right, wait till we break out below this, right? Because right now, if you want to be bearish here, that's great, right? But if you want to come here and be all bearish, we could shoot back up and we eating up your contract. Now the fear has got you, or worse, you got stopped out of a great trade because if you just had patience, it broke down for you, right? And we've all been there, y'all, where we've opened up a trade and we got in here and it either stopped us out because it jerked us back up or it jumped up and we were down $500 and we're like, I think it's going to go back up and retest the Mayweather trend line. I'm done here. But if you would have just charted, you could see that, the closer we get to this, if I just have patience and time on my contract, I can be patient. And it's not all about options. I do this with shares, right? Because if you pull up TQQ, I can show y'all how I get active. I trade these types of things up and I trade them down, right? So, and when you talk about down, you all can watch all the videos for the strategies that I use on the Cheat Code TV right here. A lot of this information is on these. So if I go too quick, you can always go back to those videos to get the information. But what I've been seeing this entire month and telling people is that these things like the dollar and inverse NBT ETFs were falling to support. And when they did that before, we saw what happened, right? This was August, right? And we know how bad September was. But what I want you all to see out of this video right now is the pullback that gave us some hope in the first week of September, right? So right now we had support pulling us back down. Now, if this goes up, that means the market's going down. So I want you all to understand that as this goes up, the market is going down. So we are going down into September, okay? So then Friday, September 2nd, right? The market starts to try to fight for some, resistance. Now we want our way here, right? And then so the next week, right? I guess maybe that was Labor Day weekend. Looked like Monday was not there. So Monday after Labor Day, I guess that's the holiday in September. Labor Day, we come back, we hungry, want to hit the market. Bulls are like, screw this stuff. I had a great time on the lake. Let's get this money. And then boom, it pulls this inverse down, giving us some hope in the market. Remember, when this comes down, the market goes up. So I remember even doing a reel at the beginning of September. I want to pull this up because I want to show y'all how active we are on constantly posting content that is education based. Like, we're not just here for fun. Okay. So like I literally, this was the last post I made. Okay. And this was September. Now I tried to post this video. Okay. Now somebody came in our DM and was like, "All right, bro, look at the stock market. It's going up. You were wrong. It's not one of the worst months. It's actually one of the best." And I was like, man, he really ain't never lived through a September like I have. I've been through 3 years in the market. Like, I know how March works. I know how May and June work. I know how September works, right? Because it's 3 month cycles where the market is just riding on speculation of earnings, right? The market is just a speculation of earnings. How well are you going to do, or how well are you not going to do, right? And so we're just trading up to earnings. And so every 3 months, opportunities come in the markets. You just got to be patient. So as you can see here, we come in, we high on this, right? That means the market's coming down. But as it pulled this down, the market got to rally that first week, giving us a false hope. Then after that, it took everybody's money in September. Okay. Now let me put this side by side so I can, you really see the impact that this has and why you all need to be watching these things happen in the market. Okay, so if we scroll back over here to September, and then we're going to put this chart on, let's see, a daily, and then I'm going to put it on SPX. Let's see here. I'm on that Mexican internet, so y'all bear with me. I'm going to make sure I don't have any questions. You live in Mexico? No, I trade everywhere. I live everywhere. Like next week, I'll be in Argentina. Because I feel like for the month of March, I feel like the dollar is going to get a strong bullish sentiment, which is going to pull the market down. And I want to be in a different country when that's happening so I can use my US dollars to get 3 times my money. But that's a whole nother topic that I discussed in the dollar video strategy right here on Cheat Code TV. Okay. All of this is on Cheat Code TV. All right. So now I'm going to take y'all back to September on the S&P 500. Okay. So like I said, when we got this false hope, it pulled the market back up. Okay. So you can see here when the inverse of the S&P got pulled down, it gave us some false hope. Everybody was like, nah, we bullish for September. Let's go. Like I said, the dude was talking mad disrespect. He was like, dude, go look at the Dow. It's fucking up. It's been up like for 6 months now. And I was like, dude, I cannot wait to take your money. Like at that point, I was dropping so much money in puts just out of disrespect that I had received in the DM. When I do this to educate you all. So like, if you come at me like that, I'm coming for your money, because y'all got to understand this is an exchange. Okay. In order for us to win, somebody's got to lose. And I don't want it to be you. That's why I'm doing these lives. We want you all to be educated. Okay. So as you can see here, the inverse took off, pulled the market down. Okay. But it created opportunities in these demand zones, which is resistance on the inverses. Okay. So now that you see that, all right, I want us to go back to where we are right now. Okay. You can see that we're pulling up here. Actually, I'll pull the S&P back up next to it so you can see the significance of this, because you can see that we're kind of on the same trend, right? We're about to get some of this false hope possibly in the first week of March, right? Because inflation data doesn't really come until March 13th and 14th, or 14th and 15th. So we can really see the market get some volatility kicked in right there and potentially reverse from what's coming in this bullish trend that we could potentially see. But what I need you all to do is make sure that you're watching the levels on the dollar. Make sure you're watching the levels on the VIX and inverse ETFs right now, because that's going to help you get an advantage of trading in the market, because we know where the market is right now. Okay, so the market right now is trying to head back to this demand zone. Okay, so pay attention to these levels, freeze frame this video, because Cheat Code is already giving you the sauce right here. What we can see happen here is potentially, if we bring this down on our lower time frame, let's say you're a day trader, scalper, or something like that, you can see that we're actually getting a lot of support off of this this first level that we got here. And I put this dotted line to let me know when I was trading today that, hey, we're at the wicks from past, right? The wicks that supported us in the past, right? They are being touched right now, right? Because this wick saved us before this fall. So I knew that if we couldn't hold that wick, that we were going to experience touching the bottom of this demand zone. So I had this dotted line to let me know that, hey, bro, it ain't coming back, bro. It's gone. It's gone. Like it touched the limit, but now the limit has been stretched and we're going lower. Because when you start to get these kind of breaks at these lines, it really just slaps down. And a lot of what's happening is let's say you're bullish right here. A lot of what happens in this area is them coming for your stop losses, right? Because you don't have confidence in the trade that you're taking right now, you put a stop loss somewhere down in here. All right. And market makers can see this. Okay. They're going to come for your orders. Right. And they have all of this room to do it. Right. They can come as low as this. That doesn't send the market out of whack to say that, whoa, why is it dropping below this level? Right. Why is that happening? Okay. Because there's got to be some catalyst to send it outside of these ranges. But right now we're at the entrance to this zone. Right. So what you want to see is possibly a bounce off of this and really reclaim this entry level to reverse and turn this bullish. But this is an hourly chart. So if you look at a 4 hour, you can see that maybe we'll have a bullish trend, but you can see we're low on the bearish, right? So you can see even here, cheat code is, like I said, if you just had cheat code, you wouldn't have to worry about doing all this charting, but I actually like doing it because you need to know why it's doing these things, right? So you can see the TP3 level is the sort of resistance, right? Or the support on this bearish, or support for bulls, but really resistance for bears, right? So bears are essentially saying, should I take profit here, or can we head lower to this take profit level, right? Because like I said, if we can't hold this range, we are heading back down here. And that's why our take profit level is down here, to let you know if we break here, y'all, it's gone. That's why I said these wicks, and you can see these wicks hit right on the dot. Because I was like, man, I was in my XPX trade today, and I was like, I'm not running. I'm not running. You're not going to stop me out. I don't even have a stop loss because, like I said, it's about confidence. Like if you're using a stop loss, that means that you're not confident in the trade that you're in. And if you open a trade and you're sitting there watching it, that means that you're not confident in the trade that you're in. So what we need to do is set up more high probability trades for you that you can be more confident and patient for the trade to play out. Because a lot of times y'all are in great trades, but you don't let it play out, or you got stopped out and it left you, right? And so what happens here is it broke this little take profit level here, because we can see here the candles were stopping here. The bodies of the candles were stopping. That's what you are. That's why I say if you use a line chart, you need to start using a candle, because the candle is going to tell you a story about that hour or that day or that week, because where it has its high, where it has a low, where did the market take it, right? But then the open and the close is important because it tells you where the market was here when we started the day, but it set the period here. It set the tone at the end of the day. Okay. So you want to pay attention to these things. Any questions? We're in here we in here live. Yeah, let's go. So set up the best support and resistance on the daily and weekly. Yes, correct. Like I said, I broke this down on Instagram, but it's not showing us any love, y'all, man. Instagram is whack right now, bro. Like, I don't know what's going on, man, but I get so excited when I post these videos and like it gets trash engagement. But like, you know, I'm trying to help, and I broke this down. Use larger time frames. Daily and the weekly, you want to be able to find those key turning points and those major trend lines. Okay. And then when you look at down to your 4 hour and your daily, that's where you want to say, all right, where are we literally rejecting on a day? Where in a day that if we didn't reclaim it, it let it go. All right. Now, once you got those top zones, you want to create those sort of finite areas to where, hey, all right, I know that on the weekly, this is a major trend line. Right. So it's going to be resistance from the past, but new support as we come here now. So I realized that on a weekly basis, OK, if we drop below this demand zone, we could potentially touch this in a week. OK, and I'm not saying a week's time or something like that, because really it's about demand. Right. If the demand gets us out of this area, we could head back to this supply zone. And like I said, you can see the weekly is already telling you that we have some support at this entry level. So if we can't hold 3,900 on the S&P 500, expect us to go lower or potentially test where we have this Mayweather trend line that used to be resistance, but now is support. So once I said you can see this on larger time frames, then you can say, okay, now for today, how do I feel? Okay, now if I look at the market, I look at the market, I'm like, yo, I know Bear's been making some money, but what I'm looking at right now is that we could potentially, now mind you, when we sent out the alert, this last candle was not there. Okay, so we were just in the between. Okay, and I always try to tell people when we're in between, you don't want to trade that, right? Unless you have price action that validates this in between, right? Because if you don't have all this stuff here, right? If I deleted everything that I have on the screen, you would just see the entry and the take profit level, right? So naturally, you would be saying that I believe that this is pulling back to this take profit level 1, right? But when you look at price action, like I said, we can see that we have caution candles, we have trend reversals, we have a lot of support coming out of this zone, right? It either collapses out of here or it really allows it to support and rally higher. Okay, so that's why I want to pay attention to this key area, because like I said, if it breaks this yellow dotted line, I know that we're going lower. I don't need to guess about it. So when I come in today, I'm like, man, I want to be bullish, but I know it can pull back. So in the text, I let people know, hey, today it's mixed in the market. It can go both ways, but right now in the short term, you want to be bearish. Okay, and allow it to fall back towards that demand zone and be patient on that price action to confirm the trend, right? Because honestly, I'm bullish in the midterm. I'm not bullish necessarily for being in March, because March is historically bad and good depending on the perspective, right? It ends good because it creates opportunities, but in the middle of the month, there's a lot of fear. And like I said, when you look at the VIX, you can see that something is setting itself up. Okay, because look, the VIX keeps falling back at 20, and when it falls below 20, it just pumps. 20 pump, 20 pump. And we put this in the Trade Heroes as well, letting people know what levels to pay attention to on the VIX and the dollar. So that's why I said Trade Heroes is important, because we're sending you this information on a daily basis. You don't have to do all this stuff. We're sending you education plus trades right to your phone. Like literally, sometimes we'll send a random one like, yo, we just hopped in this. Let's go. You know, so we send you all information. Trade Heroes is all in here. If you want to get access, just go to shop.cheatcode.com and you can get the link there, or you can go to Instagram and just comment on any of our posts and I'll send you a link. Okay. So what I want to get into is understanding what you do now that you know all of this, right? So how do you prepare for the market? Number one, if you got our handy dandy cheat code trade and flashcards, you can literally just pick cards out of a deck. It's literally that easy. But what I want you to see here is that we had to be patient today because essentially the VIX started above 20, right? It was at 21. So we wanted to pay attention to that because we knew it had the ability to cool off and come back to support, because it wants to do that. It wants to rally up in March. So the VIX is just waiting for March. And the next time it's going to be waiting for mid-May. So pay attention to May, because your summer is going to start off rough in the market. Okay, I've been here. My birthday is May 12th. It's never fun. Okay. So where the VIX is at support, holy moly, pay attention. Okay. The dollar, where is it? It's also, I guarantee you, at a support. It's paying attention, because look, when we put this line here, boom, from the past, we can see this was some resistance, became support, became consolidation support, broke through it, came back, resistance, rallied up, hit our first take profit, right? So that's why we're paying attention. And this is why I believe that the market can have a bullish rally, right? At this first take profit level on the dollar, we can already see that this is reversed before like this. We've seen a reversal from the dollar sharply at this level. So I'm not surprised if there's a bull rally that comes out of the dollar pulling back, right? And if you want to understand the dollar, shameless plug, powerful dollar index strategy right there. Okay. But back to the dollar. So you want to pay attention to this, because the cheat code algo is setting you up here. 103, 104 is the level right now that if it breaks below that, then that's bullish. If it breaks, if it continues on this trend above, it's just continuously more bearish, right? But as you can see, we've seen rejection from this area, rejection. Now, if you want to talk about zones, boom, let's create a zone, right? I'm going to go ahead and create a zone for you all. We're going to do this, boom. Actually, it's the first take profit level. That's the zone, okay? So I'm going to make this solid so you know that, hey, we are in the zone here for the dollar, okay? Well, that's another one too. I accidentally put that line there, but that's something to pay attention to because you can see we support, resistance. All right. So this is a whole range. When we break into these range, we go to the next level. Support here, resistance here. This is another range. Cool. Mark this line. Now it's the first take profit level. So if you're on the dollar and you're being bullish, let's say you trade Forex, because if I traded Forex, y'all, I really think I could be a monster. All you got to do is watch the dollar. But dollar got bullish. I even posted a video. We did a whole video on this, watching this happen. I told y'all this was getting bullish. We had a 4-for-4 caution candle, buy signal, regular hidden diversions, plus the signal on the squeeze here and the swing, confirming all of this, right? So if you're trading Forex or you're just wondering what's up with the market, if the dollar just gave you a 4-for-4 confirmation on the daily and cheat codes like, hey, we just reclaim this entry level, you need to be prepared, right? And so the stocks falling and stuff like that shouldn't be a surprise to you if you know how to use these things to your advantage, okay? So I'm going to show you all how to find stocks really quick because I wanted to make this short and sweet. I don't want to like have y'all watching videos that are, the same thing over and over. Okay. So pay attention to this because the dollar has a lot of caution candles at this level. We've seen it reject here. So if you're talking about being bullish, what you want to see is a pullback here. But pay attention when it comes up down to the 104 level, because that 104 level, it's going to find itself some support there. Right. And so once it gets to that 104 level, pay attention to that because if you're bullish, right? Man, once it breaks this dotted line, off to the races, because at this point it's got to come here and then maybe retest this consolidation area, right? But for bulls, you want to see a pullback in the dollar, right? Because that's going to give us strength to go up. For bears, you want to see a reclaim of this 105 and a rally higher if you want to be a bear. Okay, so pay attention to this. It's going to help you. Pay attention to the VIX too, because as the VIX cools off or gets hot, it's going to pull the market up and down with it as well. But like I said, I broke this down in other videos. Now that we know where the market is and the SPX and stuff like that, you can say, oh, well, I feel like, the market could potentially be bullish, right? Or bearish. Let's say bearish. Or, you know what, we're going to use our handy dandy cheat code flashcards, right? Because at this point, we know the market could have potentially pulled back a little bearish in this little demand zone, but catch some real demand here and rally higher for that first week of hopium for March to get some last folks money and then take it away. Okay, so I got right here, I just pulled this card up. It's the inverted hammer. Okay, that is a bullish pattern. That's going to be a pattern that is going to be found at, it says, found at the downtrend and it's usually taken to a trend reversal. Okay. Now, I don't know all these trends now. I mean, all these candles. So I'm learning like y'all are. So I had to read, but I know what an inverted hammer is. Okay. So what we want to do is I go to FinViz. Okay. So you can use a free stock screener here and it has chart patterns. So inverted hammer is a candle pattern. Okay. So we're just looking at a candle on our cheat code card. So you can go here and say, hey, I want to see stuff with inverted hammer. Okay, now once I pull this up, I'm on technicals. Okay, you can do fundamentals. If you want to take a deeper dive, you can do that, right? So let's say I'm looking for an inverted hammer. And now if this is going to be at the bottom of a downtrend, I want to look for something at the bottom of a downtrend. Okay, so if this is an inverted hammer, I want to first make sure that my volume is up because I want people that are trading other assets, right? I don't want nothing with no volume because it doesn't make any sense to do that. Okay, but what you can see here, let's take a look at Blink. I think people are familiar with the name, but if you want to see the charts and where the patterns are, because a lot of times you may open up the chart and say, well, where is the pattern? It'll show you here. right? So it'll highlight these things. But let's take a look at Blink. Okay, so once you know, hey, inverted hammer, I feel like the market could potentially reverse here, right? I'm looking for demand and some bullish sentiment out of this reversal. So an inverted hammer is actually a nice card to start off with. So because we're looking at for a reversal from a downtrend, right? So we'll take Blink as an example just off the top. This is not financial advice. I don't invest in Blink. I don't trade Blink. I ain't charted this thing. I don't care about it. Okay. So as you can see here on the left, we've got our Chico flashcard. If you're looking at the screen of me on the left, and then on the right here, here's our inverted hammer right here. Okay. So you can see that it's at the bottom of this downtrend. And this is where cheat code comes into handy, right? Because we're looking at the daily here. We're in our reversal bands. We've seen reversals out of this area and we're back here, right? And you can see that the squeeze is pretty low. You can also see that the swing is low, right? If Trade Hero traded Blink, we could send you a trade and say, hey, inverted hammer here, looking for a potential reversal, right? That's not a trade idea. Okay. Don't quote me on this. I don't know what's going on with Blink. There could be news coming up, whatever. But if you're trading Blink, you want to follow other EV chargers. You want to also follow EV automakers, right? You want to follow the whole EV space, right? But you can see here, if we were to chart this, you want to always start on larger time frames. So we're going to go to the weekly, right? Now, when we look at the weekly on, you can see why there's that inverted hammer where we are, right? Because we reversed out of this area before. Now, what we want to pay attention to is, wow, it got that boost off of right there. So that's one line we can chart, okay? So we have our one line charted. And then we're going to put another one right here, which significantly is our take profit level 2, right? This isn't a rocket science, folks, but cheat code is going to be the cheat code if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the patience for this stuff. Now that we know on a larger time frame where this has the potential to take off, right, then we need to be paying attention to this level because we know that in the past, right, what is this, November? I don't know what happened in November 20. Everybody was getting pumped with cash and stuff, and so probably y'all were just running this up. But it took off from there, right? An entire 2 years, though, it's been falling slowly, just taking everybody's money that got pumped in from the feds, okay? So you can see here that even on a larger, like on a bigger picture, this is just like a descending triangle, okay? Now, on a descending triangle, too, though, you can usually either get a breakout from this support down here, or you can get a reversal from the support area as well. But we can see that this is the demand zone from the past. So in order for Blink to be successful in the future, it's going to need to hold this level. Okay, so I hope that helps you all kind of break down a trade. Now, if you want to dive deeper, right, and use some more technical analysis, say that Blink isn't necessarily your appetite, or maybe you use other technicals like RSI, right? Now, if I'm looking for an inverted hammer, and I know that inverted hammers come at the bottom of a downtrend, well, what's going to support my downtrend or my reversal from a downtrend more than an oversold situation? You see where I'm going? Are y'all following along? Am I throwing some heat or what? Drop some ones and some fire flames if y'all really feeling what's going on. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, RSI, give me some oversold conditions, right? Because those are going to set up some better opportunities for me to really say that, okay, I can see a reversal. Now, I'm not saying all of these are going to reverse. I'm not even saying there's some gold in here. I'm just saying that if you want to find trades, this is how you do it. Because let's look at LKCO. I don't know what this is. I don't know what it is. So we're pulling this up. This is on the fly. LKCO. I don't trade. This is not financial advice, but you can see here that if we chart this on larger time frames, like I said, we see a lot of trend reversals on this weekly right here. And then really nothing from the past below that, right? So we know that on the weekly, we got support there and what seems to be maybe resistance as this thing, tries to recover from an oversold with an inverted hammer. But let's take a look at the inverted hammer here. Let's zoom in because the screener is using daily charts. So that's why I said y'all want to focus on larger time frames. Now you can see how high that resistance is for this thing now. So we don't even have to worry about that because I don't know if the stock will make it there. This is not financial advice. So now that we know that the weekly is too high, we need to look at the daily, right? We had support here. And then this is sort of a window that we would have to pass through right here. Okay, so I'm paying attention to where these wicks are coming down to. Wicks are coming here, wicks are coming here, and then they're extended here. So like I said, a lot of times what's happening is, let's say you were watching this stock and it came down here and you wanted to be bullish, right? And you were trying to catch this jump. What's happening in this demand zone, and reason why I say you need to have a zone when you do a support and resistance, is because they're stopping people out of a good trade right here. They're saying, yo, if we take this low enough, people will sell. Or I'll just get your stop loss. That's free money. That you put an order on the market. We can see the orders, right? Like orders come, there's order flows, right? So when orders come in, big market movers can see that come in and say, hey, we got Mike, he just put his stop loss down here. Let's go get it real quick. And then let's fake him out. Let's give him another try. He entered the trade again. And then boom, we hit his stop loss again. Mike mad. Mike like, man, I don't even want to trade no more. Mike like, I want to quit, man. And then Mike see it going lower and lower. He like, damn, man, this trade didn't even work. I'm like, not even doing this stuff right. And then the next day, bow. I don't even want to know what this candle hit, right? But you can see what patience and the right proper setup can do for you, because Mike had another opportunity here. Patience, boom, shot up out of here, right? Now, I'm not saying Mike's got another opportunity here, but if Mike really liked this stock, you know, Mike might have a better opportunity of an inverted hammer, right? Because let's zoom in on the inverted hammer, right? Off of the take profit level 2, right? And if we can reclaim this resistance that we know is here, or the support from the past, right? If we know we can reclaim this area, then we could potentially at least hit this target, right? So that's how you find stocks. Not going to go on any longer, but use screeners, use these cards as well. I'm going to do one more, descending triangle. I'm just pulling cards up, but just to show you an advantage, or descending triangle, that's going to be a bearish pattern, okay? So really what's happening is coming off of a peak, riding down this trend line. Now, this is not a candlestick, it's a chart pattern, okay? So we want to go to descending triangle, and let's take a look at some. Like I say, always the volume one, pay attention to. Ford, PayPal. I actually already have these charted. I've been posting them on Twitter. But Ford, you can see here, descending triangle, boom, we just broke out of it, right? So that means that, and important thing about using the flashcards is this is a bearish trend, right? But if you actually look at it, it lets you know that typically if you can get a breakout over the above trend line, then this turns bullish. Okay, so what you want to wait for in this is a confirmation of the break of this support, right? And which gave us a trade here, right? But we know that, dang, it's got some demand here. So if you're paying attention, if we reclaim this, it can really rally and reclaim this. And you can see here that we broke this trend line, and it's got a doji here above the trend line, right? Even if you zoom in on the price action today, right? Because I charted this before we even had this day here. Like if you look at our Twitter, you know, I charted this a day before, but boom, you can see that boom, 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 boom. We got squeeze, pow, popped up out of here, right? And then literally touched the line. I don't even trade Ford, so I can guarantee you I don't come in here and move these lines, y'all. I don't come in here and say, oh, I moved this so it'll look perfect on YouTube. I've not moved this thing. I come in here, I chart them to educate you all on Twitter, and I leave it as is, right? Because we can see they touched here. They rejected here. It pushed us down. It got support here, broke here, but rallied back in. That's why I say you always want to see if there's a zone that it can really find some support. But you can see the stop loss was already set with the cheat code algo, letting you know, hey, if we break below this, you need to go bearish here, right? But you can see it actually turned bullish, broke above our trend line. It's trying to use this 1225 support. If it can, we can see this go rally towards higher, because now this descending triangle has turned bullish. Okay, so pay attention to that. No more sauce tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed everything. Make sure y'all ain't got no questions. You live in Mexico. I live everywhere. Okay, so what does the rest of the currencies do when the dollar goes up or down? Well, those are weighted against it. So if the dollar goes up, they go down, right? Powerful dollar index strategy. I break down all of that right here for you. Let me go through any other questions. Do you watch the Greeks for your trades? Yes, on options, I watch the Greeks. I pay attention to the delta, the theta, Delta is going to tell me how much money I'm going to make per point, per dollar that underlying asset is moving. And then your theta is going to tell you about time decay. Okay. So that's why I say, like, you all need to be waiting patiently for the supply zones if you're going to be bearish, right? Because you don't want to be waiting for that opportunity to come to you. You want it to just automatically be there. You don't have to be all worried about where is it going. It's like, I'm in the supply zone. I can be bearish and just buy some time, right? So theta's not going to worry you. In delta, you need to make sure that their delta is good enough that it's worth the risk, right? Because if your delta's 10 or 0.10 or 0.15 or 0.20 or something below 0.30 or 0.40, you're literally making $10 for every dollar your asset moves, right? And if you're trading something like, I don't know, Costco, I don't know how Costco moves, but I'm just using Costco as an example, or Home Depot or something. Maybe it only moves $1 or $2 in an entire week. But something like Tesla can move $5, $10, $15, $20 in a day. So your delta matters in cases like that. That's why high volatility trades is going to be best for you, but high probability is better, because I want to be bullish down here and I want to be bearish up here. Okay. And I don't want to be nothing in between, because I'm not a genie. I'm not a crystal ball. I don't know what's going to happen, because it can always go either way. And I'm not here to do all this back and forth. Okay. So I want to wait for high probability trades. So if you wait on those from larger time frames, you can have better days. Okay. Make sure I don't have any more questions. Do you watch Instagram algorithm is trash? Yeah, they want you to pay for engagement. So do you swing your day trade? A little bit of both. Like today, I day traded the spot because I saw we came back down to this demand, and like I was on the 15-minute chart today, just scalping. And so literally every time it came down to this little demand zone, like the market started, right? Or no, we're over here. Hold on. Let's see, 9:30. Where's the first? Okay. So the market started here. Let's see, 9:30. Boom. We've fallen all down. And then I'm like, dang, we just hit this level. Holy moly. Boom. I bought some contracts. But then, like I said, I saw this past levels right here where I said you pay attention to the wicks, because the wicks are going to tell you a story. It was stopped here and it was support here. So I was like, dang, I might want to go ahead and take some profits and just set some limit orders in case it comes back, trying to stop people out of this trade. And sure enough, I got stopped out right here, and then it came back and bought the trades again. And this is no lie, man. We do this stuff in the community. I literally can show y'all what I did right here. In Trade Hero, I took the Tesla trade because we had a Tesla trade in Trade Hero, and I noticed what the SPY was doing. So I was like, man, if the SPY can get some support, I'm down to rally behind some Tesla bulls today too. So I dipped in on some Tesla cash a couple of times because I used the same strategy. I went up with it, stopped it out, and went up on some limit orders again. So got that twice. And then on the SPX, I was able to trade that as well. So you just got to be patient. I don't trade every day. I'm not somebody you're going to find on the trading floor. But today I saw the opportunity set itself up where we could see a lot of bit of demand trying to push us back out of here and maybe give us some false hope for the first week of March, right? To pump some more cash in here so we can take it away. Yeah. Okay. That's it. Make sure I don't have any more questions. Man, I appreciate y'all being here. It means you're trying to learn. You're eager to learn. What's the minimum date range you buy out for swings? For swings, minimum date's 30 days. 30 days. That gives me time. I don't have to worry about that contract losing all that value. Them weeklies and 0 date. Now, I did do a 0 DTE today on the SPX because the move that I saw, like I said, was quick. I wasn't sure if it could sustain because it's only Wednesday, right? So I was like, I don't know if this can sustain. It could just go sideways for the rest of the week. So I was like, I want to make sure I'm taking profits. So the trades that I was making was really just scalping because I just wanted the volatility of the XPX, especially knowing that I saw the support we were getting on that particular trend. So they always preach to buy time. Yes, most definitely. Can you explain volatility? Yes, that is in this video right here, volatility index. Okay, watch this video. Great video on that. What's the best delta for day trades? It just depends. Not every delta is built the same, right? Like some of them are high, some of them are low, some of them are worth the low. Like if Tesla has a 0.15 delta, it doesn't matter if I'm making $15 per point because Tesla can move 15 points in a day, right? But if you're sitting here trading, let's say Apple only moves $1 or $2 a day, doesn't make any sense for you to spend $200-300 or something on contracts when you're just making a $15 per dollar that Apple moves. It's insane. Some of you all's risk reward ratios are just out of whack. You got to start looking at the deltas, and you got to start looking at your DTE, the days to expiration. Hey, there's a video on that as well. Instagram did show us some love on this, but I posted it before I was asleep. Like, I get so excited to post these videos. I'll be like, all day I'm making videos for y'all. Okay. So literally I'm like, y'all just drop some questions in there in the comments, and I'll get some answers for you. Okay. Or some videos and some reels. So show us some love, share this content. Make sure you're asking questions, engage with us. Drop us a question in the comments. Like, we're here to help. You know, we want to give as much free sauce as possible. And if you want trade alerts, let's get active, because our community has that as well. So we got the Trade Hero text alerts. We also have mindset classes, charting classes. Every morning you can come in. We got the cheat sheet. That's every morning you're getting this stuff. And then trade ideas, right? So you can come in and get all of this information. Forex, futures, crypto, man, you name it, we trade it, okay? So we're teaching classes, live streams, trading, all of that, and we're here to help. So like I said, if you want more of this, go to shop.cheatcode.com. You can get access to our courses, our live community, trade alerts. Plus, we have a game. This game is dope, okay? And y'all been buying the game. I can't wait to pull up to y'all's house and we can play together, because this is going to be the monopoly of the stock market. Okay, go get the market mania from the Cheat Code. Okay, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. I think that's all the questions. How much more chop? Look at the charts, my G. If we can hold this line, not much, because the bulls say that this is our day. All right, now if we break below this line, pay attention to these levels I have here. If we break this line, we're heading lower, and we could potentially retest this Mayweather trend line. Okay. So pay attention to this, because like I said, if you're using larger time frames, you don't have to ask those questions about how much chop, because you're not worried about the chop that happens in the day, because you're seeing what's happening in an entire day, right? Because imagine how much chop happened in this day, how many stop losses y'all got blown out of in this day. This thing went all the way down here, came all the way up here, and then went nowhere in the day. What's that? I hope you trade iron condors and, spreads. Because like, other than that, you're just sitting there doing all this, watching your trade. You can't be comfortable. I don't like that. I like to come to areas where I can literally push buy and just close the app. And I go kick it. I go to the beach, stream from there or something, but I'm done, y'all. I got to go. Mexico, man, I'm about to enjoy my time. Hey, but we're going to do this every Wednesday. Okay. So pull up. If you want cheat code, algo, any of the stuff, join our community. It's right here. You can get access to all this stuff. We even got swag. So pull up, man. You got to trade in style. Okay. If you want to join the community for free, the link is at the bottom. Okay. Tap that link. I'm going to send you a text too. And if you don't get the text, tap into the Discord and just comment me on Cheat Code TV, and we got you. Okay. Make sure y'all sharing this content with people. We putting this stuff out there to teach y'all. Okay. We're only here to help. Make sure I ain't got no more questions. What do you guys have? A WhatsApp group? No, I got, we send texts. Like, you can literally text me, G. Like, text me right now. Like, but what you got to do is you got to go to shop.cheatcode.com, click this link. And when you register there, I have your phone number, and it allows me to text you. And when you put your phone number in there, I can then send you a text that gives you a link to this. Right. But also, once you get the text, it confirms that you're on the list, and I can text you and you can text me. We can talk. I'm in here talking to people. Like, we have conversations and stuff. Like, we're like friends. Okay. So I want to be your friend. Text me. You want to talk? Let's chat. I've got answers if you got questions. All right. So I hope this was some game for you all. It's going to be posted on YouTube, so it'll live here. Supply and demand, baby. Don't forget how to chart it, how to use it. Y'all be patient. Let the market come to you. Don't ever chase prices, okay? Stop guessing. And what do you need to do? You need to start cheating, okay? Click that like button before I go. Click that like button. Hit that like button. How many folks we got up in here streaming? Okay, we got some. Let's go, man. Y'all are here learning. Okay, all right. Hit the like button. I love y'all. I'm glad you're here. I want to do this more. I'll see y'all soon. Holla.